Hey, after a long reprieve, I am back, and I'm sorry for taking so long, but I was dealing with a problem, and as you've read the title, you'll realize what it was. So I had run into a problem with just, no, it wasn't lack of energy, and this is going to be hard to describe because unless you've experienced it, and I'm hoping that if you're here to get my review of testosterone, treatment, then you've already probably understand what I'm about to talk about. But yeah, I went through a lot of years of low testosterone results and some symptoms. In fact, I had even more symptoms, but I'll get to that in a minute. And doctors would say, oh, well, quit smoking and this will improve and that will improve. And I quit smoking, no effect. Obviously, health-wise, that was a good move. And they said, well, you need to lose weight. It's your weight that's, causing. I lost weight, as y'all know. I mean, if you're following my channel this last year, I lost quite a bit of weight. I was very physically active. But it was a struggle the entire time. And that's where people with low testosterone start to understand what I'm talking about. And if you haven't, and if you want to understand or just you're trying to get a grip on this, it's like having a restrictor plate in NASCAR. I guess that's the best way to describe it. Is I knew I could do more. My body could do more. I wanted to do more. But there was just something stopping me. Something constantly holding me back. And it was... unless you've felt it, it's so difficult. And there were other symptoms. But what initially started me in this is, of course, I was mid-20s, and all suddenly, I no longer had erections as a normal part of the day. I could perform when it came to it, but everything else, and I asked the doctor, and like, oh, you're in your 20s, it's no big deal, and your testosterone is above the normal. It's in the normal range. Yeah, the normal range is like 200 to 800 or whatever, and I was like 202. And my estrogen was in the normal range, which I don't even know what those numbers are, but it was like 2 points under high. So my free testosterone was right at the mark of being low. So, but they said, well, we can get you, and then I'm hit 30s and they're like, well, we can get you some pills. I'm like, I don't want pills. I can do what I need to do when I need to do it. This isn't hindering me sexually, but there's a problem. And I want to know what it is. And I finally had a doctor who wanted to give me cream. And I looked into the cream and I said, no, I'm not doing that. But the shots scared me because if you're looking into this, like once you start shots, you're on them probably for life. And that's a bit of a scary thing. By the way, I'm on my half-hour walk as I do every night. If you want to see clips from every night, I post a little video on Instagram. Just look for me there, Rondo Markwell, and you'll see little clips every night. I'll try to do more and more of this. It's going to be crappy video. Sorry. It's going to be during my half-hour breaks, and at night I'll do a good video at the end of the week. This is part of the reason why I stopped doing videos is I just hit a wall. Here I did. I lost all this weight, working out all the time, and there's no relief. All the problems are still there. And through sheer willpower was the only reason I was able to get to where I was. So I've been on testosterone for a few months now. This is an instant. If you're looking for instant results, this isn't it. This is a lifestyle. This is going to be a lifestyle because it takes 10 days for, these things last for 10 days. Your body's got to adjust to it, your estrogen, and, you've probably done this research. So now you're wondering, hey, if you've done all this research and you do this, and you just want a review from someone who's gone through it, here it is. It's a little slow, but if you know you need testosterone, if you're to the point where you're ready to take it, you're just nervous about it, and you have your healthcare professionals, it was worth it. It was worth it to start. First week, don't know. Because placebo effect, yes or no, you know, but I definitely slept better. Now, let's talk about some of the things I never expected. So I know they're not placebo. A couple weeks went by. All of a sudden, I remember things. I didn't realize how horrible my short-term memory was. Because it was one of those things that slips away from you. And it's also one of those things you can contribute to age. So then I told one of my family members I was going on testosterone shots. They were like, well, why? So I get more energy and I remember more and, you know, oh, well, you get older, you slow down. No. No, this was more than age. I am okay with age things. But, you know, like I said, it was like having that restrictor plate on. I knew I could do it. But I didn't realize my memory was as completely horrible as it had become. And then all of a sudden, as it improves, like a huge noticeable improvement. And I go to my doctor and I said, my memory's better. And she's like, yeah, that's the effect of low testosterone. I'm like, no one told me that. Didn't even know. Sleep way improved. But what was amazing to me is how much stress was bothering me. And I'm a very calm person. Everyone who knows me knows I'm this super calm, super mellow guy. And I can deal with stress even better than before because it was becoming, again, back to sheer willpower. And I said, this is part of the reason I decided to go on testosterone. I said, I cannot hold up this sheer willpower to keep functioning in life. Sheer, unadulterated, just pushing through mentally to make it happen. And physically it was capable, but it just, you know, if you're there, if you're not there, it's gonna be hard to describe, but there's always something holding you back when your testosterone's low. And if your testosterone's low, you know what I'm talking about. There's always something just right there. The facial hair is a new thing. I used to have to shave. I was down to shaving like every 8-9 days. Now it comes pretty quick. So that was an interesting result. But I'm only several months in, so we haven't seen the full potential. I'm starting to work out again. I'm being very energetic. It's a whole lot easier. Now I'm to the normal hurdles everyone else has. The normal motivation, the normal just, you know, getting it done and eating healthy. You know, that was the other thing. Here I am, I'm eating healthy and fat wasn't coming off. You know, that one's a tough one to gauge because, you know, eating healthy, fat doesn't always come off. But I always felt like, okay, something's a little off. The results aren't quite what they should be, you know. And when I eat just a little more, I'm gaining it way too fast. That's hard to quantify though, because everyone's different, and I don't want to discourage anyone who is having a hard time losing weight, because no, it's still not easy. And I'm still not losing weight as quickly as I'd want, all that, but definitely a noticeable that a bad day doesn't put on, you know, pounds. It's hard. That one I'll get into in a later video because it is nuanced. It is a very, I mean, there's very little difference, but it's definitely it feels like it's a bit more of a struggle than now that I am on testosterone. And I haven't seen all the results yet because, again, it takes time for your body to adapt. But I'll tell you, you're not going to this isn't an instant result, but it is definitely worth it. I do feel so much better. I sleep so much better. I handle stress so much better. Starting to work out again, lifting weights. You follow me on Instagram, you'll see I post all my workouts and all the weights I lifted, you know, from an app that I use. And I see muscle grow. I never saw muscle growth before. No matter how much I lifted, no matter how many, you know, it's not huge, but it's definitely noticeable. Now, an interesting thing is, and the doctor said this, I said, man, yeah, I really hit the other day, and I was totally expecting to have DOMs. And she's like, you're not going to have DOMs. You're on testosterone. I'm boosting you up there a little bit. Testosterone on what I get is in the mid 700s. Now, Maybe that's too high, maybe it's too low. We're still, we're still playing this out. It takes time. You start at a low dose and then you go up. Now, you're too low of a dose. This is interesting because when we had to boost me up from the low doses, because definitely like the day before and the day after my shot, because the shot takes 24, 48 hours to kick in. Man, my emotions, well, I could tell you when the testosterone was going down, like almost instantly. I'm like, oh, we got to boost this up so I don't have these ups and downs. Yeah, I was on a roller coaster. And I started to think about it, and this was the roller coaster I've been on for years. It's just now that I had mellowed out and I had found an even line, it was a whole lot easier to see those ups and downs because I'd always had those ups and downs. And I'm a calm person, I'm a patient person, so I was able to make it look like it was smooth, but internally I was having just constant ups and downs. But I can keep it from externally showing. Some people can, some people can't, and that's cool if you can't, because that's who you are, so don't be ashamed of it. But yeah, as soon as you've been smooth for a couple days, well, suddenly you go back to the ups and downs, you almost immediately notice it. So I'll keep posting more on this. That's just an initial review. There's so much to cover, and please ask your questions below and I'll cover those topics. And then follow me on Instagram. You can see my little snippets and my workouts, and hey, maybe I can help you. Maybe you can say, hey, I can do better than this guy and prove me wrong. Hey, that helps you. So whatever works. Be safe and keep it on the road.